Good morning. I love it. I love Room Full of Passion, so I know I'm going to have to say that 3 more times before. Well, look at you guys got quiet. Good job. Good job. My name's Aaron Kilborn. I'm the executive minister for the ABC of the Dakotas. And first of all, just want to take a quick picture, and I want to see who's awake and who's had coffee this morning. No, I'm joking. I'm up here to real quick introduce who is going to be sending their greetings to you from the ABC and certain parts of the ABC, and then, of course, to tell you a little bit about one of our great speakers this morning. We've got Joy Martinez-Marshall, as she's coming up for Baptist Women in Ministry. Yep, come on up. I was going to run right through them, but yeah, she's on a plane. She's got to go get a plane.
Yeah, I'm moving and shaking this morning, so thank you. Hello, my name is Reverend Joy Martinez-Marshall. I serve as the pastor of First Baptist Lincoln, serve as one of the associate regional ministers, and I am here representing BWIM, Baptist Women in Ministry. It is a nonprofit, a group of Baptist women that are encouraging and empowering women to be leaders and pastors in Baptist churches. So we have American Baptist churches that are involved, Cooperative Baptist Fellowship, the Alliance of Baptists, some brave Texas Baptists, and Baptists from all over the country. So what we do is we provide resources. We have wonderful studies that your church can go through. We provide ordination resources. And one big thing that we've been doing is advocacy. So we are related to ABC. We are sisters. We work closely with the American Baptist Women in Ministry that our Reverend Dr. Pat Hernandez is a part of. And so I wanted to give you greetings on behalf of our Executive Director, Meredith Stone. Our offices are located in Waco, and we do all that we can to support women. Last year, as you know, our Baptist siblings wrote a wonderful letter and named a bunch of women. I can tell you, as someone that's from the South, I had many a friend, including my home church, on that list that have now been disfellowshipped. So the Baptist Women in Ministry is an important group to help encourage, empower female clergy, allies of female clergy, and to continue to be a bigger picture of who and everyone God calls into ministry. So we have programs such as mentoring. I'm in a mentoring cohort where they have paid for us to go on a retreat. They pay for us to have resources. We also have Sisters of Solidarity, which encourages African American women to be pastors and leadership folk. Our very own Reverend Dr. Zena Jacques helped with that first cohort. So we are so grateful for our ABC connections. At 1:30, you are all invited for Wheatfield's dessert and some more coffee that I don't know if it can rival Doug's, but don't tell him that. We'd love to have you downstairs at 1:30 to support the American Baptist Women in Ministry and Baptist Women in Ministry. The ABC Nebraska has sponsored part of it. Thank you, ABC Nebraska, and Greg in particular, and also Central Seminary. So if you have any questions about what we do, or if you're curious of just helping your congregations come to learn more about female clergy and how to support, I'd be happy to connect you, and thank you for your time.
Joy is responsible for picking up one of our speakers, so she's got a dash. But the next couple of speakers that we have that I'm going to introduce, I'm just going to go right through their names. So if I say your name, don't jump up here right away. That goes for you, Matt, especially, because he's eager. He's always ready. He's always ready to go. I love it. So we've got International Ministries is also represented here. Rob Kirchoff with that. And then Ministers Council, of course, Matt Stutervant will be coming up and talking about that. And then I just want to take a moment to talk about one of our guests here, Rob Lone. Rob Lone and I share one thing in common that none of you really do, and you're missing out. We both live in Sioux Falls, and that's just a wonderful, one day you'll get there and you'll understand. But yeah, isn't that a little regional pride? It's a little regional pride. But Rob is a person that he's really close to my heart in what he does. The turning point in my ministry of 21 years in Parker, South Dakota, one of the biggest turning points in my ministry was when I started to realize that the people and the men and the women around me needed mentors. And not only did that lighten my load in a way as a pastor, because it developed leaders within the church, but it also sent them out into a greater depth in their ministry context and where they were. And it was just a beautiful thing to see. Rob Lone is like, I'm not going to try to butter his muffin too much here, but that's a South Dakota saying too, by the way. He's like a guru along the lines of mentoring. And I want to encourage you, please come to those sessions. And then, of course, he has a couple books downstairs. One of them focuses on developing the leaders around you in a mentoring type of relationship. And then the other one is 80 pages, and it's a great devotional as you are trying to bring in the culture of mentoring in your church. So that's Rob Lone. You're going to hear more from him. He doesn't have to pop up right now. But I will ask the other people that I've asked to come on up. So that would be Mr. Kirchoff. Are you somewhere in the building? Right there? Oh, perfect. Okay, come on up.
Thank you. Again, Marc Kirchoff, International Ministries, Director of Development. I just want to bring greetings on behalf of Sharon Coe, our Executive Director and CEO, and to say thank you for what you do. I tell people, we can't do what we do except you do what you do. As individuals, as churches, as regions, you give so generously to support our 120 plus global servants serving in 72 countries alongside 250 partner organizations around the world. Thank you, thank you, thank you for what you do. 210 years coming up on May 21st and 22nd. And speaking of which, if you have visited our website, if you subscribe to our newsletters or see our e-blasts, you know that our 210th anniversary is being celebrated this year. Instead of World Mission Conference at Green Lake, we are doing a global encounter. And it's a virtual event, and it truly is a global encounter because on, I think it's a Tuesday evening, the 21st of May, which is the day of our founding 210 years ago, we are gathering virtually from around the world. And the reason it's a two-day thing, on Tuesday evening and on Wednesday morning, we are gathering people from around the world. Because of the time differences, we're doing an evening and a morning session so that we can gather people at appropriate times. We know folks in different area codes and different time zones, it's going to present a challenge. But we will have presenters and people joining us, and we hope you will consider having a watch party at your church. You can sign up as groups or individually from your homes to join us as we celebrate 210 years. So please consider registering as a watch party or as individuals to join us and celebrate and hear the stories that I can't tell you myself. I thought about doing that because this past fall I had the privilege of traveling to Southeast Asia and visiting several of our sites. And I took 250 pictures. And so I've only got 2 or 3 minutes left, so we better get through these. But anyway, I'm not going to do that. I will show you if you come down visit me. I'll show you some of my pictures from Thailand and Indonesia. But I also invite you to come down and talk to me because one of the things I love to do is to say thank you. And I'd like to do that personally. But sometimes I'll get on the phone and I'll call and I'll say thank you for your gift. I'll call your church, I'll call your secretary, I'll call individuals and say thank you. And the reaction that I get is, oh, well, you're welcome. And the second reaction is, I wish I could do more. Paul Weirs talked yesterday about the 9% and the 91%. Every Sunday morning, we pass the plate, we have the boxes in the back, or we have the online giving. We ask you to write a check or give out of your pocketbook or out of your wallet. We ask you for part of that 9%. But there's that 91%. Come and talk to us. Paul and I are sharing a table downstairs, and we'll tell you how you can decrease your taxes, increase your retirement income. We can increase the amount that you're leaving to your heirs and to your church and to your region and to missions. And sometimes we can do all 4 of those at the same time. And sometimes it doesn't cost you anything. We'll talk to you. Come talk to us today. I'm going to be in and out today Paul's here. We'll talk to you about how you can accomplish all 4 of those things at the same time. Come talk to us. Thank you so much for what you do. We'll keep doing it. We've been doing it for 210 years. We're going to do it for another 210 if Jesus tarries. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mark. My name is Matt Stutervant. This is Chris Carlson that is coming up and will stand awkwardly behind me for the first few minutes of my talk. I'm here with 2 hats today. I am, first of all, a Prairie pastor. I have been a pastor at the First Baptist Church in Lawrence, Kansas for almost 15 years. And so I've been up to Prairie pastors many times over the course of those 15 years. But also, I have another hat today, and that is the hat of the National President of the Ministers' Council. That is a hat that I've only had on for almost 15 months, so not nearly as long, but it has been an incredible 15 months, an incredible ride to see the national team from all over the country, folks that want to support clergy, that's our only goal, is helping clergy help clergy. And I've seen some folks that all volunteers, our leadership team. We have no executive staff. We have one part-time program staff person, but all of these volunteers do this incredible ministry because they see the work that pastors do and the needs that pastors have. Of all the things that I love doing, there's one thing that I don't like about this position that I've held. I will go to different places, and I've had this same question come up over and over and over again. And it's some version of the question, what would it help if I paid my dues, if I was a part of Ministers' Council? What would it do for me? And that's when I'm glad I have this second hat as a pastor, because it takes all of my pastoral sensitivity to not respond to them. I'd like to introduce you to a man named Jesus. But I don't. You'll be proud of me. I instead help remind them that the point of the Ministers' Council is not to make your life better, even though I believe it does. The point is that it allows you to help your colleagues' lives be better. Those that are hurting, those that are not sure if they want to continue in the ministry, those that are at a church with folks at their neck. I think the right question is not what can the Ministers' Council do for me, but instead the Jesus question is, how can the Ministers' Council help me help them? And so how can my dues help support and get folks to national events like retreats or the biennial last year? We scholarshiped a lot of folks who wouldn't have been able to go otherwise. How can the Ministers' Council help create spaces to combat pastoral isolation, pastoral burnout? We've talked about it already in the last 12 hours, how serious and significant that is. Together in ministry groups, chapters that kind of help provide that support. We've got a whole list at the table downstairs of different events that are going on, as well as a survey to ask what events do you want to see? How can I use the Ministers' Council to be better connected together to my colleagues? There's 3 things that we do. We call it the 3 C's. One of them is competence. How do I do my job better? The other one is collegiality. How do I do my job together with other folks? And the third one is centeredness. How do I do my job because of the grace of Jesus and empowered by the Holy Spirit? And so that's what we do. We are clergy helping clergy, chaplains, pastors, local church pastors, associate pastors, women and men supporting one another. So the reason that Chris is up here is that he has a special invitation that he'd like to give to you. But before he does that, I'd like to have some folks stand. So I'm part of the Central Region chapter, and if you have ever been on leadership for the Central Region Ministers' Council, I'd like you to stand now. Now or have ever been. Okay, keep standing for a minute. Thank you all, and I know we have other folks around that have done this as well. Now, if you are a pastor in the Central Region, I'd like for you to stand. Okay, one more. If you are a pastor or clergy in Nebraska, I'd like for you to stand. Okay, now Chris has an invitation for those of you who are standing. You can sit down now.
I feel like I come to you a little bit like Esther. The things I want to say are going to take too long. So King and Naaman, please join me this evening for pizza. If you guys are not aware, over the last few months, Nebraska Greg, your Greg, Mamula, had reached out to the Ministers' Council about trying to bring it together with the Central Region and reinstigate it. And so we have made those votes, we have made those motions to make this a reality. And so for all intents and purposes, Central Region and Nebraska are going to collaborate together on Ministers' Council. And so I invite you to pizza because we need to discuss what that looks like. I need some input and some guidance specifically from the Nebraska pastors about what it's like to serve in Nebraska. Most of the focus of the last year has been about what we've been talking about: burnout, mental health, disconnectivity. And so I'm not excluding anybody. If you are from Sioux Falls and you want to sneak in and take a piece, we won't throw you out. Okay. But Iowa, do what? Oh, yeah. We don't have Pizza Ranch for those Iowa people. It's all right. Kansas is Casey's. So before I get out of here, yell out to me what kind of pizza you want. And I'll go, and because I'm ordering it this afternoon. I want to get enough for everybody. What are we eating? All right. I hear a lot of uhs back there. The uhs, well, I'll get you a cheese pizza. Other than that, I think I'm done. Okay.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Just a couple of quick housekeeping things. Number one, I'd like to go through and embarrass my fellow region exec ministers just to stand and announce where, and I know you need to be listening, where you're going to have lunch. Okay, so if you have an idea, I'm going to start with Jackie. Jackie, would you like to, who are you and who do you represent?
The best region here.
Perfect. Thank you, Jackie. Where is Double G Greg? Where are you? There you are.
Right here, we are going to the wheat fields, where we've been in the past. Need directions to talk to the team, or Morgan, or Jennifer. We'd be happy to figure out how to get there.
Yep. With the Dakotas, we're going to P.F. Chang's. My peeps know that. I'm also missing Mr. Greg Mangle, single G Greg. I almost, when I hear these restaurants, I'm like, can we trade maybe? There's some good choices out there, good choices. Have I missed any region execs? Hawaii, New York, nothing like that. Okay. And then just real briefly, with Rob Lowen, his materials downstairs, he has those. If you have Venmo or check, that's what can be used. So as you're buying those things, remember that. And I don't have much else except to give this over to the wonderful praise team. Come on up. Please lead us.